let's speak about Mullen Stock getting short squeezed to the moon. What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I am not a financial advisor, and today we're going to be taking a look at what is undoubtedly one of the craziest EV stocks in the world as of this moment in time. All you have to do is take a look at this chart and see it go from 18 cents a share all the way up to 40 cents a share in a matter of no time whatsoever. And things have only gotten a little bit more spicy since, before Christmas. There's been some absolutely insane days here. And today, it's all coming down to the short squeeze. So I think this is what a lot of people have been looking for with Mullen Stock. It's what a lot of people have been speaking about in regards to Mullen Stock in general as well. And it's what we are going to be covering today, my friends. And the reason why is this. Short squeeze alert. The cost to borrow Mullen Stock soars 8,000%. And then the very next day, the cost to borrow Mullen Stock fell 80% overnight. So essentially, there's a lot going on behind the scenes, and it is time to strongly consider if and when a short squeeze could happen. And when we look at the company from a technical point of view, alongside seeing all of this craziness going on with the cost to borrow, we can maybe get an idea of when we can expect this move to happen. I was looking at some Mullen chat boards earlier. I was on StockTwits and stuff, and you should see the amount of messages coming in every single minute. I often monitor chat boards when it comes to stocks such as Mullen, the ones that have a lot of retail behind them, the ones that have huge potential behind them, the ones that to an extent have a lot of FUD behind them. And whenever you see, them exploding, as I saw today, there's a lot of retail on their side right now. It's getting quite exciting. Really quickly, my friend, could I ask you to hit that juicy like button nice and early for me? It means a lot, helps me out a lot. I want to apologize for my voice yet again. I think it's getting a lot better though, so we should be back to normal in no time. And if you end up enjoying this video, perhaps getting some value, hit that juicy red subscribe button, join the family of investors, and get more juicy content regularly, baby. So the cost to borrow Mullen Stock soars 8,000%. This is from a day ago, and then again, just to keep in mind that it fell the very same night, essentially, down 80%. But what does this really mean? Why are people getting so, caught up in these huge numbers? Why is it exciting to investors, most of all, I suppose? So, the cost to borrow fee has soared higher by over 8,000% in the past few weeks. The figure currently sits at 742.5%. Now, if you look at what that actually looks like here, it's this red line. This is the cost to borrow fee. And you can see, you can barely see it over the last few months. The fee's been low. Now, still, it was at like 20+%, which is still very high in general for a company. But 743% is essentially unheard of, especially when the shares available are very low, even in comparison to where they normally are with this company. And again, this is one thing that's going to, point to a short squeeze, or at least get people conversing about a short squeeze happening. So they opened New Year higher by over 10% as their cost to borrow fee continued to soar higher to an absolutely insane amount. Now, the total amount of shares available to short differs across different websites, ranging from 500,000 to 1 million, and even less than that since this article was put out. Fintel reports the cost of borrow fee was just 8.55% as of December 23rd, which means the fee increased by over 8,000% since then. Now, this is very much out of the ordinary. The average cost to borrow fee is 0.3%. So these numbers are still absolutely huge, and I can't stress enough how heavy they are, even after falling the 80% once again. MarketBeat reports that there was a total of 161 million shares sold short as of December 15th. Now again, for Mullen, for this company, that is a lot. That's equivalent to a short interest as a percentage of the float of 43.5%. And I think nearly everybody would expect that number to have gone up since then as well. And that certainly seems high enough to drive a significant short squeeze. So what exactly is going on? That's what people are talking about, baby. That's what people want to figure out. So why does this really matter at the end of the day? Why does the cost to borrow matter? Why is that a sign that we could be in for a short squeeze? It signifies that short seller demand in a particular stock is increasing. So again, that might sound counterintuitive to some people. Why is the fact that, more people are looking to short sell a stock a reason that the stock's price could go up? Well, that really is what short squeezing comes down to at the end of the day. As the number of available shares to short declines, lenders must charge a higher cost to borrow fee in order to keep up with the demand. In addition, cost to borrow fees may also be used as a factor in the risk to reward scenario for traders. So with a higher fee, traders have to be much more confident in their chances to emerge profitable, especially if they're going to go to such extremes as, you know, those 743% fees. You would have to be very, very confident in your short working out. An increase in stock borrow rates may force, which is squeeze, some short sellers into closing their positions, and that really is what it comes down to. Getting out to realize their remaining mark-to-market profits and exiting before other buy-to-covers drive the stock price back up. And that is why people call it a squeeze, my friends, is because it all happens at the snap of a fingers. It's a chain reaction. One large short position gets stopped out, they have to buy their shares back, it moves the stock price up considerably, say a few percent, and that boom makes the next person get stopped out, they have to buy their shares back, and boom, it goes up again. And you can see how that can happen over and over. When you're working with tens of millions of shares, it's not like me or you who could have a position for 100,000 shares even, or 10,000 shares, or 500 shares. That's not going to do much if we get stopped out. If somebody owns 5 million shares of the company, or is shorting 5 million shares of the company, I should say, and they get stopped out and have to fill that order immediately, no questions asked, they have no choice in the matter, that is the kind of thing that will move a company. And again, you get that chain reaction, which is why people are getting so excited right now. Now, one other thing to point out is that shares of Mullen have experienced heavy dilution in the past year, which will make a squeeze more difficult. And there is something happening on the 19th of January that we have to speak about that could make or break this squeeze if it does not happen before then. So this was meant to happen December 23rd, okay? They were meant to win shareholder approval, but there was a lack of quorum. Most shares that were voted supported the proposal, but the vast majority abstained, okay? So this was trying to execute a reverse stock split. Now, the reason Mullen has to execute a reverse stock split to some degree is because they're trading under $1 for too long. And that is one of the Nasdaq's compliance rules. You have to maintain a share price above $1 a share. So this essentially has to happen, or else Mullen gets delisted from the Nasdaq, which is not going to be a good thing for the company. They have until March 6th to get a stock price above $1 a share or face delisting. But it could get a 180-day extension. Now, I'm not sure that's going to happen, considering that plan that they clearly do plan to go for this reverse split. So the reverse split could be anywhere from 1 to 2 to 1 to 25. It doesn't really matter, but again, it could make a squeeze a little bit harder to happen if, you know, there are more shares in the float. It could affect, you know, cost to borrow going forwards. It could make it easier for shorts. It could make it more difficult for shorts. It's hard to know how it's going to play out right now, but that is why January 19th right now is so important in regards to the short-term future of Mullen stock price, and the price at which, you know, they're going to be able to hit ultimately. In addition to March 6th, Mullen faces a May deadline to remain part of the Russell 2000. But again, you know, if they're going to stay in the Nasdaq, they're going to stay in the Russell. The problem is they lack the cash to deliver on its promise of a mass-produced electric car. Now, they've had a lot of big news lately. That's some of the important things to look at when it does come to Mullen. They get a jolt as the Igo arrives in Europe. It actually, where are we, arrived in Ireland, which is quite interesting. If some of you guys aren't aware, I am indeed from Ireland, so I'm going to take a little bit more of a look into this. The vehicles are delivered to Newgate Motor Group in Ireland and are expected to arrive in early January. This delivery is the first in what the company is projecting to be more based on a significant uptick in interest and inquiries on the Igo EV. Pretty awesome. Also, since June, it's made 2 major acquisitions of bankrupted companies, both of which Longs have actually been relatively happy with, to be completely fair to the company. We have Bollinger Motors and Electric Last Mile Solutions. Anybody who was in the SPAC game will be aware of them. But that is what is going on right now, and that's why I personally believe that if we don't see a short squeeze within the next week or so, it's going to be very difficult to get one in January. Now, one other thing I'd like to point out is that, you know, this is a 4-hour chart we're looking at. You can, to an extent, see a cup and handle potentially forming. What I think would be good, personally, is if the shorts get to win for a few days, you create the handle over here, and then the squeeze happens to the upward direction. One place to look for price-wise is one we've had listed out on this channel for probably months and months at this stage, is here between about 52, 53 cents a share and 57, 58 cents a share. This is kind of where we got our final leg down before our big upward move here. And then again, there was some consolidation up in this area. So to me, this is just a very interesting one. Now, you could also point towards this kind of 47-cent mark, which again still represents a huge upward move. But I think it would be relatively healthy for the company now to maybe stagger down over the next few days, fill in this gap, maybe fill in some of this large green candle here, come down towards maybe the 30 to 32 cents mark, create a little bit of a handle there, and then make a nice upward move. If the short is to happen, or if the short squeeze is to happen, that would be, in my opinion, the healthiest way for it to happen. That is what I would be looking for. But again, if it gets to January 19th, there's going to be a lot going on, and it's, in my opinion, going to be very difficult to determine what way investors will accept anything that could come out of January 19th. I've always said it, I am rooting for you Mullen Bulls. I'm really glad to see that a lot of people who had maybe bought on the way down are now in the green. Hopefully, if you are, you're able to take some profits. Even if you do plan on going proper long in the company, never be afraid to take some profits. You can always buy back in later on if it does come back down. And if it doesn't, you'll still have some position. But anyway, my friends, that is my video on Mullen. If you watched all the way to the end, you are a true legend, and I really do appreciate you being here. From the bottom of my heart, your support means the world to me, my friend. I'm feeling really good since getting back. It's been a good new year so far. I have some exciting news coming to the channel in the relatively near future as well, so keep your eyes peeled. Again, if you did watch all the way till the end and you did enjoy, please do hit that like button and subscribe if you're new around here and would like more content. Really does help me out. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a beautiful, blessed day. I hope 2023 has been good to you so far.